Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, and today we're going to be doing not a historical battle, but it's going to be a fun battle nonetheless, I should imagine. This is a French ambush on an English army, medieval armies on both sides. Obviously in the front here we have got the English column, and then on the sides we have got the French attack. If you've seen my Teutoburg Forest video, then this will certainly remind you of that. So, there's quite a lot of units here, and there's one mace man up here. Let's get rid of you. There you go. So, yeah, we've got two different armies here. We've obviously got the English who are marching in column, and the French have ambushed them in this, the closest thing we have in tabs to a forest. So, the English here, they are headed up by the king, as we can see here. Here's the king. He's got some crusaders with him. No, this isn't a crusader army. They're just what I use for bodyguards. So we've just got some crusaders here. So we've got king and 4 crusaders. Behind him we have got a standard bearer, and then we have got 6 English flailmen, followed up by 12 English knights, and then 6 English longbowmen. And then behind them we've got a bunch of peasants, just English peasants ready to enter the war. So we've got 50 of those, and I remember because I put them down first. So we've got 50 peasants here, and then we have got behind them some English men-at-arms. This is a column of 6, so what's that? 6 by 5, 30. 30 men-at-arms, followed up by 12 English longbowmen, English and Welsh longbowmen, and then another few standard bearers. Standard bearers are dotted all the way down. Again, like the Teutoburg Forest battle, these guys are just to keep the column in place, because basing this on Total War, ambush battles, you tend to be in column and you tend to stay in column unless you can deploy your units properly or in time. And then so behind them we have got another 6 by 4, 20 English knights, no, sorry, 16 English knights, is it? 16, 20? Oh, I don't care. We've got some English knights, and then we've got some English longbowmen, English and Welsh longbowmen, 12 of them. And again, one final standard bearer at the back of the column. So, this is just how I'm having the formation column march. I'm just having peasants in the middle, men-at-arms near the back, and then the knights bringing up the rear with the king and his men at the front. Going up against them, we've got the French. We have got some French macemen, we've got some French men-at-arms, and we've also got some French knights. I haven't given them any arbalists, so they don't have any sort of ranged attack. Hopefully that means that the English will be able to use their longbowmen to their advantage. But the French do have overwhelming numbers. They've also got the better men, because the English here, as we can see, the French cost nearly 30,000 with 237 men. The English have got 162 with 18,000, nearly 18,500 cost. However, you have got to remember that of this, 50 of that number are peasants. Peasants are pretty terrible. They are, as you would say, peasant. And they're just generally not great compared to any other units. As you can see, peasants here cost 60, a man-at-arms costs 120. I mean, this is the French faction, but again, you can see here, English man-at-arm 120, medieval peasants 60. So, technically, 2 peasants per man-at-arms. The English also do have longbowmen in their midst, which, whilst good at range, as soon as the French get in range of them, the French will cut down those longbowmen without a care. Which means that the English have actually got less than 100 actual effective military soldiers that are adept at close quarters combat. The rest of these guys are pretty worthless to them in close combat, whereas the French are completely made up of close combat units, macemen, men-at-arms, and knights. So the French will absolutely win this, but as to how much they'll win this by, I do not know. But let's get into it. So, here we go. The English are hopefully going to stay in formation. As for the actual amount of units here, the French have probably got more people on this side than compared to this side, mostly because you can't turn the camera in tabs when you're setting up units, which means that setting them up in close combat, or rather in close quarters, where you can't really get your camera to, which is aka the trees blocking them, you can't really place them down. So there's more men on this side. But the first English longbow volley has gone in. They've killed off a bunch of, they've killed off a lot of macemen, really. The knights are at the back. I did that mostly so that the longbowmen would actually have a chance of dealing damage before the French got there, because the knights do have the ability to block, which you might see from one of these. Yep, there you go. As you saw, the knight managed to block that arrow. So place the knights further towards the back to give the longbowmen a chance to actually deal some damage, taking out some of these other... Oh my god, that just went right through him, nearly. Yeah. Hopefully the longbowmen will be able to do some damage before the French reach them, and they have. They've cut down a bunch of Frenchmen, actually, on the way. There's a man-at-arms down as well, but a lot of these are macemen. But here comes the first Frenchman getting into the archers, going to take their revenge on all of the crushing defeats that they suffered at the hands of English and Welsh longbowmen. We've got a Crusader here charging right in there, does not care. Yeah, good luck to you, my friend. There's about 20 of them there going up against you. The king and the rest of his bodyguards are actually going for this knot of Frenchmen. Hopefully, with this amount of Frenchmen, they should be alright. As for the rest of them, yeah, most of the rest of the French here have got involved. We've got peasants here just getting cut down by the Frenchmen. No big surprise there. We've got the rest of the Frenchmen there streaming into the rest of the peasants. A lot of the English peasants are going to be the group to die first. The men-at-arms here are just having a big old rave with the men-at-arms and also the French knights. So yeah, they're going to be having fun. We've got most of the longbowmen are actually still alive here. As for the longbowmen that were with the knights, yeah, they're mostly dead, I think. Yeah, see, the longbowmen are back here and they're taking the brunt of the French attack here on the rear of the column. The English knights are obviously trying their best, but yeah, there goes on the longbowmen. We've got a couple of men-at-arms back here. I mean, the knights are going to be able to kill off these guys pretty easily. Most of the French force actually went for the peasants and the men-at-arms over here. As we can see, there's just chaos. Chaos is reigning at the front of the column. We can see where most of the French forces went. They're killing off all of these guys. As for the Crusaders back here, the Crusaders are actually dead. All the Crusaders are dead. It's just the king. It's just the king. Ooh, that's not good. I thought the Crusaders might have more of a chance here, but no, they've mostly died. I'm surprised. They did manage to kill off a decent amount of Frenchmen though. As we can see, there's some French knights and French men-at-arms as well dead over here. The king is just trying to kill off as many men-at-arms as he can. Go on, my lord. Kill him. Kill the Frenchman. People of France, if you are watching, I do not mean that. The standard bearer, he's giving it his best, but we've got a flailman actually still alive here. As we can see, the standard bearer, he's doing his best against these French knights. The flailman might be getting involved. As we can see, oh, it's just chaos. That's 3. I think I just saw 3 bowmen go down in as many seconds, or at least a second. They're all dying. Yep, the front of the column is pretty much dead. As for the rear is starting to thin out now. I mean, the men-at-arms here, they gave it a good shot. I mean, we've still got some French flailmen going on here. We've still got some French knights as well. As for the rest of the English knights, yeah, there's loose pockets of them. Loose pockets of them. This is definitely not as close as the Roman Teutoburg Forest was when they were fighting the Germanics, fighting the Germanic infantry and the axemen. The Teutoburg Forest was a very enjoyable battle to watch, actually, I have to be said. This one is as well. All of these ambush battles are pretty fun to watch, as we see the poor Englishman get swarmed by the Frenchman over here. The king, how's the king doing? Oh, he's killed off a knight. Good job, king. He's got some men-at-arms left as well over here. So the king, he's doing his best. We've got a man-at-arms actually trapped behind a bush here, I think. Is that who the king's going for? Possibly. As for the rest, we've got one singular English man-at-arms with his spear, trying his best, but he's going to die soon. Oh, he just got smacked in the back by a maceman. Oof, down he goes. As for... we've still got a Crusader here. Oh, I thought you were all dead. But no, not all the Crusaders are dead. I mean, this guy will be. He's just been charged. He's just been charged by like 10 Frenchmen. So, yeah, he's not going to be alive for much longer. We've still got a loose pocket of English knights. We've still got what, 4 or 5 English knights plus a longbowman. Longbowman's still alive, doing his best. But the French reinforcements are coming in from killing off the last man at arms. Yeah, these guys are splitting now. Half of them are going to deal with this Crusader, half of them are going... I mean, look at him, he's got a pile of bodies with him. He's doing his best. The King, meanwhile, he's still going strong. Look at him go. Oh, hits a knight, but hits a shield, though. But yeah, the English King, he's trying his best. In goes the knight. Oh, in goes a man-at-arms. King manages to parry it. We'll have to check up on him later. How's the Crusader? Crusader's still alive. He kills off another man-at-arms here. He's being assaulted by, well, French knights, some French men-at-arms as well. As for the knights at the back, they're now being swarmed, as we can see. We've got maybe 1, 2 knights left alive yet. Another one just died there. Lost grip on his shield. There goes the other one as well. So, yeah, there goes a knight. Still might be someone trapped under there. But the Crusader's dead. It's just the King. Oh, it's not just the King anymore. We got over here just in time to see him die. There goes the English King. Well, I say King, it's probably, in this case, we'll call him a Lord or something like that. Yeah, there's a mosh pit going on over here, as the last remaining English knight is trapped under the bodies of his fallen comrades and those Frenchmen that he's managed to kill. Yeah, now here comes the rest of the French ambush party. Yeah, it's just a case of them killing whoever it is. I don't know. It's not the standard bearer, as we can see. The standard is still flying. Yeah, it's just a stream of French knights, and obviously these guys over here. This guy, unfortunately, his only claim to fame was distracting the English lord from actually killing off the rest of the French forces over here. Yeah, it's just whoever's trapped under here. So they'll kill him eventually, or just speed up time until he eventually dies. One of these men-at-arms will hopefully be able to... I mean, just look at the pile of them. Look at the ball of Frenchmen. The ball of Frenchmen that's trying to kill whoever's under here. I mean, oh, off goes a French shield. Whoever's under there might be killing them, but no, there he goes. Finally, the last English knight has died, and that's it for the ambush. As we can see, resounding success for the Frenchmen. The French army here certainly cleaned up. And they do have some stragglers stuck. This guy, for example, I spawned him a bit weirdly. He's sort of got his arm wrapped around a tree. As for over here as well, another French knight trapped with his arm behind a tree, and obviously we've got this man-at-arms who is trapped in a bush. Again, that's the problem with trying to spawn a bunch of units. The Crusaders, first of all, didn't really do all too much. I didn't see them do much. They died here. They've apparently, between the lot of them plus the King, they have killed a bunch of Frenchmen. As we can see, we've got some bodies of knights. These guys are actually mostly knights. We do have some men-at-arms as well, but again, more knights. We've got some more knights and men-at-arms here, so a good amount of French knights actually died to kill off the King, well, the Lord, and these Crusaders. So they do have that going for them. That is at least something. They did distract the Frenchmen at least for a bit. Again, over here, this brave Crusader. I mean, look at him. He's surrounded by the bodies of those that he's killed. We've got a flailman here with a couple of bodies. As for the rest of them here, yeah, the flailmen have all mostly died where they stood along with the knights. As you would expect, the longbowmen died as soon as they came into contact with the French knights, as did the peasants. Yeah, don't know what to tell you. Peasants aren't particularly an effective fighting force. The longbowmen did at least manage to get some early kills, as I hoped that they would. As we can see here, there was a decent volley. Managed to kill off some of these men-at-arms and macemen. On this side, not so many, because most of the longbowmen actually went for this side because these guys spawned in closer to them, so their AI targeting just went straight to this side, which is why we see most of the French bodies from the longbowmen volleys dead, whereas over here we've only got a couple of macemen. Yeah, these guys are actually all macemen. As for the rest of them, I don't think the longbowmen on this side actually killed anything. Firing over this side, they all turned their attention to over here, and they did manage to kill some. I mean, we've got a small semblance of a battle line here. We've got some English knights, a couple of English peasants, and then we've got some French men-at-arms. We've got a maceman. We've also got a couple of French men-at-arms as well here, and a couple of French knights fighting these English knights. But yeah, they all died. Peasants melted. As did longbowmen all the way back here. The men-at-arms, I mean, as you can see, this was a pitched battle, pretty pitched battle. We've got a good casualty ratio in terms of actually speaking for the English here. Obviously we've got a bunch of, well, we've got all of the English men-at-arms bodies, but we do also have some French knights. Got some French men-at-arms also scattered in here. I mean, it's not an overwhelming English body count here. There is at least some French body counts here as well, showing that the Englishmen did put up a decent fight. They did kill off a bunch of Frenchmen at least. Same with this side, as we can see, we've got French bodies strewed about along with the English bodies, and then we've got the longbowmen behind them. Yeah, they've got basically no French bodies back here. And then we come to the knights, the English knights at the back here. Obviously, we've got the French swarm around the knights here. I would like to, if I could, I would love to pick up these guys and move them to like an open space over there, but as it is I can't, so I can't exactly see the body count that's going on over here. But I mean, the knights didn't seem to do all too well. I mean, we've got some English knights here with not a lot of French bodies. We've got some men-at-arms, and we've got some French macemen, but in a one-on-one fight they shouldn't be better than a knight. That goes for the French knights as well. The French knights should beat an English flailman or men-at-arms in a one-on-one fight, but I think the Englishmen must have just been poked to death, because there's quite a few English knights here, and there's not a lot of French bodies. I can't really see under here in the mosh pit. I imagine that there's going to be some French knights, some French men-at-arms, and French macemen down here, but overall, yeah, they didn't really do all too well, the knights. I do have to say the men-at-arms for the English probably had the better body count here. And then obviously the king, I mean, he's left a trail of destruction and a trail of bodies to, well, the Lord. But in the end, yeah, even he couldn't survive this ambush. But yeah, that was a pretty fun battle. It was over a lot quicker than Teutoburg, probably for the better. I mean, here's the destruction of the English column. We've just got Frenchmen going everywhere. We've still got a decent amount of French knights, as we can see. This is a lot of knights. We've got a lot of men-at-arms. We don't have a lot of macemen, I do have to say. Mostly the French force remaining is dominated by the men-at-arms and the knights, possibly because they're the better units. But yeah, that's what remains of the English column. So yeah, that was a fun battle. If you'd like to see more of these ambush battles, please tell me. Ambush battles are fun to make. I do enjoy making these videos in general, but also ambush battles are pretty fun. I've only done a couple of them, but they are fun to watch and fun to see. Fun to see just how hard or easy the attackers have of the time for attacking a column. But yeah, there you go. I'll thank you all for watching, and goodbye.